Okay, guys. So it is so tricky that what happens with the subconscious mind is that when you learn a principle, when you think you learn the principle, and sometimes this principle could be like very important, and the moment you might think this is a breakthrough for me. You think that this is a breakthrough for me. I will never forget about this. This is going to help me for the rest of my life, and this is exactly what I need to work on. But what happens is that with the subconscious mind is very tricky. It's you forget it. That principle that you learn, that you think you understood, and then that moment you said to yourself, I'm going to use this principle in the future because I know that this is important. I know that this is true, and I'm going to be using it in the future, all my affairs, make my life better to reach my goals. And but you forget. You just forget. At least in my case, I forget, and you just life hits you, and you start operating the old way again. Start operating the old way, then you forget what you learned. You know, and uh, and then after a while, you see it somewhere, you read it somewhere, you something reminds you of that principle, and you're like, oh, man, this is. I learned this. I know I have to act like this right now. I know I have to think like this right now. But the idea is, the point I want to make in this video is that sometimes you hear something, sometimes you learn something from a mentor, from a seminar, you read it in a book, a principle, something, trick, a mindset thing that you think you understood, and you know that this good is going to help you, and you need to start operating this way. But what happens is you didn't learn it. Just because you understood it in that moment does not mean you learned it at all. It does not mean that. Let me show you where I'm sitting today. I hope you can hear me well, because I'm sitting next to the sea. That's why you're gonna see a lot of noise. You're gonna hear a lot of noise from the sea. But the idea is, if you think you learned something just because you heard it, just because it made sense, just because you understood it logically, it does not mean you learned it at all. Sorry. It does not mean that you learned it. No. And this brings me back and reminds me of something that my late mentor used to say, Bob Proctor. He used to say, learning, what we do in school is not learning, it's acquiring knowledge. It's just acquiring knowledge, just acquiring information, gathering information. You're gathering information. Learning is when you take that information that you gathered, you put it to practice. You put it to practice, and you achieve a certain result. So you take that information that you learn, you put it to practice, and you get a result. Positive outcome. When you get that result, because of the application of the information that you learned, then you know that you learned it. Then you know that actually it's information that became part of you, because it resulted in an experience that gave you a certain outcome. If you're just gathering information, let me put the phone down because taking me time. If you're just gathering information, thinking that you learned something, trust me, you didn't learn yet. Trust me, you didn't learn. You know, learning is when that information becomes part of you. It becomes part of you, you're executing it, and it's giving you results in your life. Okay? If not, it's you didn't learn it yet. You know? And this came to me today, this idea in my head was triggered today. I was triggered by a book I was reading from Napoleon Hill, and he's talking about the principle. He's going deep into it. And this principle, I know what it is. I know what it is. I've read it before. I've heard a couple of my mentors talk about it. But in this book, he was telling the story of his life and how he was pushed to learn this principle through adversity, through hardship. he was pushed to learn this principle, and it just revived that principle in my head, and just I just started to remember all the times I've heard this. I've heard somebody talk about this. All the times that mentor of mine or a coach of mine said something about this, and I know it. Like it was said to me different times, but I never applied it in my life. I never applied this principle in my life. I've never applied it in my life, and it shows you that no matter how many times you hear the thing, if you're not consciously taking notes and making sure that one day you will go and look at your notes and try to apply the principle until you get a result, you didn't learn the principle. You will not know it because you're just going to forget about it. You're going to go back to default, especially when life hits you with something that you don't desire, something, that you don't like. You're just going to go back to default. You're just going to default back to the old you, and you didn't learn. You did not learn at all. So this is very, very profound for somebody who's trying to improve his life, somebody who has goals, who wants to achieve his goals, who wants to, who wants to demand out of life the best that can offer on all levels, on physical level, mental level, relationship level, financial level. It's very important to understand that this trick, we're going to fall into this trap and do this trick, if you want to call it trap or trick. It's just going to happen. It's just going to happen, and you're not going to execute on what you learned in seminar or you read in the book. You have to really pay attention, and if something is important to you, just write it down and keep it in front of your eyes. And you need to understand that you need to act on it. It has to give you. You have to experiment it. And it has to give you a result. Okay, otherwise you didn't learn nothing yet. So this is the idea of the video, guys. Each one of us is gonna have different things to work on. What's easy for me, it's not easy for you, and what might be easy for you to execute is not easy for me, depending on one's subconscious programming, depending on one's each one of us has a certain program, in his subconscious due to his upbringing, environment, especially when you're a child. For some people it's very hard to get in shape. For some people it's very hard to get in shape, but on other aspects of life, like in the financial department, for example, they're fine. For them, making money is just natural. For some people, making money is a hassle. Making money is hard. And I'm one of these people. I was not born into wealth. I had to learn a lot in order to just be able to start a business on my own or rely on myself. It does not mean that it's always easy, and for some other people, building a relationship is very easy. For them, it's just very easy to build a relationship, to find a partner, to just talk to anybody, female or male, and build a relationship, build a connection, meet people. For some people, it's very hard. That part, this is the part that you need to work on, So, and as one guy I heard say that the real ones are the ones that hit all aspects, all departments. They have it figured out in the financial department, relationship department, physical department, mental health. Everything is on point, and that's the goal, I guess. That's the goal. That's my goal, That's my goal. And through this channel, I try to help as much as I can with what I've experienced. At least I think I'm in good shape. I made a great transformation last year, 2024. I got myself to be completely shredded. Now I went to a bulking phase, and now I'm cutting back again, trying to go back to under 10% body fat. I will try to hit 9% body fat. Shredded. I just get veins all over the body, the abs as well. And then once I'm there, I'm gonna just maintain a little bit and try to build muscle slowly. This time I'm going to build muscle slowly in 2025. I'm not in a rush. I already feel good. I already think I achieved like a healthy, a healthy physique, like looking good. It's okay. I don't need to be like a bodybuilder, but I already look like I have some muscle, so I'm fine with that. You can, in the martial art department, courage, masculinity, self-defense, all that. I've been doing this my whole life, and I have that figured out, I guess, right? I can teach. That's what I teach. That's how my student. That's how I started teaching. I started teaching striking. I was at that back in the day. I was trading. I was still trading. Then I started teaching Muay Thai, boxing, kickboxing to get some money in order to continue trading. As if you follow my journey. But then I decided to stop trading and I started doing the coaching. I evolved my coaching to not only the striking and the martial arts, but to also another departments like fitness department, mental department, helping people with their habits, helping people with quitting addictions, all that. I can help people with that definitely. On the financial department, I'm still figuring it out. I made some decent money, I guess, as a coach. My best month was like 7K as a coach, working with few clients. I'm working with a lot of clients because I have like a bit of let's say not the cheapest prices around, so I don't need a lot of clients to make money. I have programs that are cheap, and then programs that are more expensive. So making 7K for me was not a big deal, as long as you get the correct clients. So, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Right now, I'm going through very difficult times on financial department, and because I made a few changes in my coaching. I made a few changes. Maybe I'll talk about this in another video because one day maybe I would be helping people building their coaching business. But since I made a few changes, I switched from not switched, but I added other aspects to my message, to my communication. I'm not only talking about martial arts, about defense, about boxing, about Muay Thai, but I'm also talking about mindset a lot. I'm talking about fitness, about nutrition, about sometimes relationships, sometimes even religious beliefs, and just character in general. So I think I made people dizzy with all these messages, and people were like, "Whoa, what is this?" So and this has so far affected my coaching business, my martial arts or my striking coaching business in a bit of a negative way, because I guess I confused a lot of my previous audience. I'm not talking about YouTube, but I'm talking the audience that I had from Instagram, and that was my main source of leads. But when it comes to YouTube is new. I just started last year, and I started talking in general about all this. Everybody that's following me on YouTube, since day one, I've been talking the same way, and I've shown all the aspects of my life. I'm talking about everything. But for the people that I had following me before, I think they got a little bit busy or got lost on what is the message, And so that led to a bit of harsh times, like on business level. I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out, and but hey, as I read today in this book, this is great because this is gonna be something that will give me authority the day I will choose to teach people about building a business as a coach. Since I'm going through all these hard times, all these hassle, all these changes in business, and the fluctuation in income and all that, it's gonna serve as an authority, as something that will give me authority when I speak about the subject, because I've been through. If somebody has been through all the stuff that you have to go through, you listen to them because they've already been through that and they figured it out. So this is gonna be great, and I want to leave this documented here on this video, because one day people are gonna come back and watch this video and say, "Oh, this guy, he made a video in like May 2025, and he said that he was in trouble when it comes to business, and today he's driving a supercar." So props to him. he figured it out. So I wanted to be documented. It's important for me that this stays documented here. And when it comes to mindset, my mindset has never been more solid than before. And even though it goes through some ups and downs because of life circumstances, because because of whatever, different things. But each time I think my mindset becomes stronger, stronger, stronger. I am able to maintain serenity and calmness and positivity through all different, through all sorts of things. Like it's becoming hard and hard for anything to faze me, for anything to throw me off the vibration I need to be on. It's becoming hard for anything to throw me off, the vibration I need to be in, throw me off to the negative emotions. At the end of the day, we want to be always in a high scale of emotions. We want to be in the positive side of the emotion scale, right? So this is what's going on. It's just a bit of an update on what's going on with me, and I hope my videos are making sort of, I don't know, giving some sort of value. If you have any question, you can write me in the comments. I'll be happy. It's gonna give me ideas about videos I could be making. I'm gonna be happy to answer you guys. And yeah, this is where we are right now. Marbella, it's already close to sunset. Let me show you the place where am I at the moment. This is like by the beach. Just walking here. I was having a coffee somewhere over there, and now I'm just gonna get back home. Hey guys, I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, keep those dreams up, get fit, get strong as a man, get courageous, embrace your masculinity, enrich your mind, read, study, meditate, and see you in the next one.